Sorry, I'm just still coming down from the epicness of that particular moment in the season finale tonight. So satisfying. So immensely satisfying. Oh my god, that is like my new favorite season finale right there. I've always enjoyed every season finale. Some have been better than others, but wow, this one was just. Whew, oh my god. Oh boy. Well, if you're watching this, this means that you've watched the season finale as well, and that you're preparing yourself. And if you haven't seen the episode tonight, you should know. Full warning: I'm going to be discussing spoiler after spoiler after spoiler. While giving my reaction to the season finale of The Walking Dead, which debuted earlier tonight on AMC. Welcome back once again to another episode review here on The Edward, where we're doing one of our more positive episode reviews of this show. That was so good, so damn good. Okay, and from here on out, I will be discussing spoilers. So prepare yourselves in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Spoiler time. Oh, and if you haven't seen it, please catch up so we can talk about it later. It's a lot of fun, and if you don't watch it tonight, chances are your coworkers or friends or whatever will be discussing it in the morning. So make sure you make it a priority to watch this episode tonight, so that nothing good is ruined for you. Because this was one of the greatest season finales of any TV show, but especially for this show. Oh my god, it was so good. Oh man, I was saying to myself ever since I saw the promo last week with the Kingdomers walking down the street with Shiva on a chain. I'm like, yes, they finally got the tiger out of there. I hope that she was going to be used, that we were going to see her either kill some walkers or at least kill some saviors, and that is exactly what they did. It's what they did. I loved it. You know what Walking Dead did tonight? The Walking Dead went full blown Jurassic Park, and let me explain what that means. My all time favorite movie is Jurassic Park. For those of you who may not know, I'm sure many of you know that by now, considering how I am, but. uh, It's my all-time favorite movie. All-time favorite scene is at the very end when the four survivors are trapped in the museum and the velociraptors have them trapped on either side, and it seems like a dire situation, and one of the raptors is about to leap onto them and kill them, and right as it's about to leap, the T-Rex all of a sudden comes out of the side wall and grabs it midair and kills it, thus inadvertently or intentionally saving the humans. And it turns into this epic fight between the other velociraptor and the T-Rex while the humans make their escape, and this triumphant epic music by John Williams is playing. It's a fantastic scene, and of course it ends with the epic music and the banner falling down with the T-Rex roaring. One of my best saves ever. I always enjoy a good save. Whenever one character saves another in the nick of time, I always love that. In fact, Walking Dead has done that before, going back to season 3 when the governor first attacked the prison, and they're shooting, they knock down the fence with the truck full of walkers, and Rick is fighting the walkers, and it looks like he's about to get it when an arrow pierces one of them, and it symbolizes the return of the Dixon brothers. Yes, Daryl and Merle return to save Rick just in the nick of time. It's another epic Walking Dead moment. Tonight's episode had one of the best Walking Dead moments. Now, let me explain the Jurassic Park thing. Negan had Carl and Rick on their knees, and he was letting Rick know that not only after will he kill Carl to really punish him, he will cut off both his hands and make him serve him, forever and a day, to let him know that he's truly won. And it looks like all hope is lost at the moment. We know our other Alexandrians, our other characters, are fighting the saviors and the scavengers elsewhere, and it looks bad for Rick and Carl, who are both on their knees, surrounded by Negan and all his men. And it seems, and your heart is racing because you're hoping that there's going to be a last-minute save, like maybe Michonne with the sniper rifle, after she's done fighting with that woman, will get her sniper rifle and take a shot at Negan, and if not kill him, injure him, and allow that moment of confusion to allow those two to get away. But they did something far better than that. Right when Negan was about to beat old little Carl in, Shiva came to the rescue and attacked and killed one of the saviors, thus sparking confusion and frenzy, symbolizing the arrival of the kingdom. Carol, Daryl, Ezekiel, Morgan, Jerry, Shiva, everybody from the kingdom was there, and Ezekiel comes out yelling out this inspirational Shakespearean type speech about aim at the saviors, Alexandria will not fall on this day. And it was like when Aragorn gave his epic uplifting speech in The Return of the King right before they fight the orcs at the Black Gate. That's what it reminded me of. And then it just turns into this epic battle between the saviors, Alexandria, the kingdom, and the hilltop, and the scavengers. And it catches the saviors and scavengers totally by surprise. And not only does the kingdom show up, but then there's a moment where a scavenger is about to shoot Rick, and then he's shot in the back, signifying that Maggie and the hilltop have arrived, and Daryl is rearmed, and they are taking back their town, and they are driving the saviors and scavengers out, and it was awesome. Oh my god, that battle scene. And then Shiva got in this one more kill, and I realized if Negan hadn't moved from behind that car when he did, instead of that savior getting attacked by Shiva, it would have been him. So close and yet so far. But I'm not surprised Negan survived because they just introduced him last season, and I think they could still get a good season or season and a half out of him because he's such a cool character, as evil and despicable as he is. Speaking of surprises, I was surprised that during the chaos that Negan and Simon escaped, and a couple other saviors escaped. Like only 3 or 4 of them made it out, along with Negan, Dwight, and Simon. I thought Simon would die in this episode, and then Negan would get maimed or badly wounded, and then he ends up at gunpoint, and he ends up a captive of the Alexandrians or something like that. I don't know. I was expecting that. We didn't get that, but oh well. It looks like we've got a hell of a season 8 lying in store for us. And now, as epic as the Battle of Alexandria was, there was some heavier moments where, like, the Scavengers' betrayal was a big what the fuck moment, although not entirely surprising since they weren't exactly the most trustworthy or pleasant types to begin with. So their betrayal was not entirely unexpected. I mean, I was kind of hoping they wouldn't, but then they did. I'm like, oh shit! Now this plan just went downhill. But fortunately, it was resolved because, as we saw with the arrival of Shiva and the kingdom, it worked out. But the scavengers are still out there. They set off the smoke flares, and the remaining scavengers took off. They're like, fuck this shit, let's get out of here. And they're all gone now. And they're gone. The saviors have retreated back to the compound. And another thing that surprised me, I thought Eugene was going to bite it this season. If Sasha wasn't going to die, I thought Eugene would, or both of them would. And unfortunately, poor Sasha did end up dying, but the way she died was such a selfless, badass sacrifice. She took that pill knowing she would turn by the time they got to Alexandria, and I think she did exactly what she intended to do, was that she gave her allies their moment. As soon as Negan opened up that casket, she emerged, she attacked him, causing shock and confusion among the saviors and the scavengers, and that allowed Carl and Daryl and a few others to get their guns back and start opening fire on the scavengers, and that allowed the battle to begin. So Sasha really did give it her best all the way up until her final moments. I mean, and I knew she wasn't going to bite or hurt Negan.